You are looking at the beautiful Riverside Hotel on Las Olas Boulevard. It is quite a facility, and it is all run by one great guy. His name is Heiko Dobrikow, and we are fired up because he is back here on Spotlight on Florida for a repeat performance. Heiko, welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Joel. It's great to be back on the show, and you guys are doing just a great job keeping the industry really informed of a lot of the things that are going on. It's an exciting time for us in Florida and the tourism industry. So have at it. And what do you want to know today?
How's everything looking down there in South Florida on Las Olas?
Listen, we had a great season, and I think we all felt that a lot of the business was coming here during the season. The summer is going to be a normal summer for us. Florida is kind of boring. We have your winter season, which is your high season. The summer season is your slower season. But we're looking forward this summer for a lot of regional and domestic travel coming back down to South Florida and enjoying our area down here. So it looks exciting.
Awesome. Okay, Heiko, today we want to talk legislative stuff. And we had a big recent victory. The hotel industry is very happy about a bill that just passed. Governor DeSantis just signed it. I signed the bill, the legislature passed it, and everyone's real excited. It's transient occupancy, but it's something a lot of people may not know about. So give us the scoop on what this issue is all about and what the bill does.
Yeah, the bill is Senate Bill 606. And thank you, Governor Ron DeSantis, for signing the bill. Thank you to the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association for being such a great partner and advocating for this particular bill, and the leadership of Carol Dover for making that happen. It's about squatters in hotels, and a lot of people don't know that, right? A lot of people think, well, when you have a guest that is not paying their bills, you're just gonna defraud an innkeeper and can call law enforcement and just kick them out. And that's not the case. If that particular person is more of a long-term stay, and they claim that their guest room in a hotel, in a motel, in a vacation rental, or any kind of similar kind of lodging like that, as their primary residence, then they have claimed pretty much to be a tenant. And then it becomes a much, much, much more rigorous way of truly trying to evict that particular customer. This bill has been designed to protect us from that. That no matter how long you're going to stay at a hotel, a motel, or a vacation rental, you're considered to be a guest. And therefore, we can actually call law enforcement for a non-paying customer and actually evict that particular person. Now, if we want to go a step further after that and press charges against that particular person, it would fall under the Florida Statute 509. 151, I think it is, which is the Florida statute for defrauding an innkeeper. And you could then press legal charges against that particular person, which may include restitution or even jail time for somebody.
And it's a strange concept that this is happening. But what's the motivation? They're just trying to find a place to stay for free.
Well, squatters are that exactly, right? They're not paying their bill. They know it's a long process in order to get through that formality and getting somebody out of that unit, and therefore they can stay for free. And a lot of these hotels and motels that have been renting for weekly and monthly basis have had those situations. And of course, it affects their business negatively. And that's not what we want. We want, working in a hotel business is already hard enough, and it's a margin business, as we all know.
Oh, yeah.
But when somebody now is taking advantage of that, then that's not a good situation. And, the good news is, the legislation saw that and recognized it, and they passed the bill. And Governor DeSantis, I think the beginning of this month, just a couple of days ago, just signed it, which is very exciting for us.
Yeah, awesome. A big victory. It was so needed in Florida. And I know you're big on advocacy. I know you deal with your legislators. We mentioned Florida Restaurant Lodging Association, also with Carol Dover and the whole team there doing great things to try to make things happen for the hotel restaurant industry. But I mean, what's the importance of this? You probably have spoken to legislators about this, and it works, right?
The industry is important. I think, tourism is important to our state in general. When you look alone what the industry brings to the market, it brings a tremendous amount of economic development and jobs to our area, which are very important. I mean, look, we as hoteliers, we imposed a tax, which is a tourist development tax in 1977, and each of the counties can pretty much do have a certain leverage in how they want to handle the tax. And that particular tourist development tax is not paid by the residents, it's paid by the tourists that are coming here. And we have the ability actually to now use those particular funds to, promote our destinations, really create some very robust marketing strategies. Uh, we know we are a peninsula, and beach erosion it's a given for us. And this tourist development tax has been used in order to renourish our beaches so that our residents, myself included, and our visitors can actually enjoy our beautiful beaches that we have. And then look at us here in Broward County. We recently expanded the convention center. We used some of the tourist development tax in order to expand the convention center and really be a tremendous competitor nationally and probably internationally in that particular arena. And we're adding a 801 room convention center hotel, which is not funded by the tourist development tax, by the way. It's a bond issue that was done on this one. And then there might be other smaller related tourism related infrastructure uses of that tax. But at the end of the day, what does it mean for us? For us, it means no income tax. I like no income tax, Joel. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful. Um, More tourists here means jobs. And really, we have one of the largest industries as a job provider out there that is certainly helping. And it creates vibrant communities and amazing destinations that we can all enjoy. So I think that's very important for us to look at. We we all know that the Senate is hammering out a budget right now, and there's a lot of philosophies out there that we want to give back to the residents in savings, whether it is in the state sales tax, which a lot of the visitors are contributing to, or property tax, right? But at the end of the day, we need to protect the tourist development tax in our state in order to remain competitive in the nation. I mean, there's other states in the U.S. That we are competing with, California, New York, just to name a few, even Texas. And so that tourist development tax certainly will help us.
And it seems to me, Heiko, now with everything going on, obviously entering another hurricane season. I mean, and we got all the other factors going on in the world. Marketing tourism, we got to keep doing it, right?
100%. I mean, let's hope not that we're going to have any disastrous situations in case of a hurricane, but we're entering it. And the reality is that we will have hurricanes here. But we use a lot of times those tourist development tax dollars to quickly pivot again and tell the great story how resilient we are as a state, how resilient we are as destinations, how it may have affected a small portion of the state, but the rest of the state is open. I mean, we have seen this through various hurricanes that we had, whether it was Andrew, and I remember when Andrew happened, the media blasted it out that all of Florida is pretty much closed. And no, it was our marketing efforts saying like, no, other destinations are open. When you look at Ian, when you look at just recently Milton and Helene, the West Coast got hammered twice. And we quickly use those tourist development tax dollars in order to promote that Florida is open, come here and enjoy the beautiful locations. And the other thing that I would be remiss not pointing out, when you think about investments coming here to Florida, a lot of times it starts with a visit, right? A lot of times people just visit Florida and realized how business friendly our climate is, how beautiful our actual climate is. And then there might be these headquarter companies that may think, maybe I don't want to be in Timbuktu, and maybe I want to relocate to Florida and bring my company to Florida and start the business there. There's another great use why the tourist development tax dollars are so important, and we need to protect it, Joel. That's what I think.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, that's why I wanted to bring you back on here where there's so much going on in the news world. So, and, Spotlight on Florida, that's what we do. We cover it. And you were obviously the right guy to talk to about it. But we got a couple minutes left. Heiko, so talk to me. Next time we talk to you, what are we going to be talking about? What are the trends? What's going on? What are you seeing down there in the hotel world?
Well, I think the next time we're going to talk a little bit about the economics that are happening in our country. What kind of effects are we going to have down the line in regards to this whole tariff war that is out there? We're probably going to be talking about the recovery of our Canadian business that we kind of lost in the first portion of this year. I think preliminary data shows that 40% of the Canadians actually did not come to Florida, and 30% of the 40% of those folks went actually to Mexico. I know I personally had already some conversations with some of our Canadian customers that used to come to our hotel, went actually elsewhere, and didn't like Mexico, and they're coming back next year for the season to stay with us again. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about the launch in early fall, I think in September, the great opening of our new convention hotel, the Omni here in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm telling you, bookings are well on the way. I just talked recently to the general manager at the Omni. And I mean, she was just so optimistic, how excited the convention meeting planners are in order to come to South Florida and come here in particular to Fort Lauderdale and enjoy this new amazing big hotel with 801 rooms and the expansion of our convention center. And then last, we're going to talk about the infrastructures. Hopefully, we can talk a little bit more about the connectivity between the airport and the convention center, the bypass road that we have, and then also the mobile transporter, and then also the whole connectivity to the port. We here in Fort Lauderdale are very unique in that you have the airport, the port, and the convention center literally within a stone's throw of an area. So we're very unique. So those are the things that we may be going to talk about next time, and I'll give you some additional updates on that.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's all great. I can't wait for the convention center and the hotel. That's going to be quite a 1-2 punch there. That's going to be amazing. So I don't know if we'll have you on before August, but I know if not, I'm going to see you at that FRLA summit. That's always a big one in Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood. So I'll see you there if not. But any final words, Heiko?
I think you just said it. The summit is one of my favorite conferences every year. And it's going to be at the Seminole Hard Rock and Casino again. And I think it's the third year in a row. And it started here actually in Broward County. The very first one was in Broward County and has been a staple for FRLA ever since. If you really want to understand the latest trends in hospitalities and what other vendors have to offer, you have to go to that particular summit. It is absolutely phenomenal in August 17th and 18th, right? Isn't that the dates, if I remember?
It's around there.
Yeah.
We'll check that and put it up on the screen.
And book your tickets for the summer. There we go.
Absolutely. There he is. Heiko, always a pleasure, my friend. We got to talk to you more often. Thanks so much for joining us. And that's going to wrap it up for today's interview. Stay tuned for more updates right here on Spotlight on Florida.